When you start up the car, it goes brr, 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 brr. मतलब कुछ तो गड़बड़ है.
The connecting rod does not support buying new cars apparently.
Says someone to the person who's just bought 2 brand new cars in a matter of 5
So we don't practice what we preach either.
But all my other cars were used.
That is true.
For a Creta, you will lose about up to 60-75,000 bucks. Easy. Easy. If your car is in good condition. Because उसको भी पैसा बनाने का है. वो
And you're
market
saying
से
70,000 bucks is what your peace of mind costs.
well, yeah. The peace of mind is simple. That कल को अगर मेरे गाड़ी में बम लगा के उड़ा दिया पुलिस वाला मेरे पास आएगा तो मैं उसको ये पकड़ाएगा. कॉमन प्रॉब्लम इज इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, राइट? इलेक्ट्रिकल्स. पावर विंडो नहीं चल रहा है. आई एम प्रेसिंग द बटन, इट्स नॉट कमिंग. यू गो एंड से सर ये तो पावर विंडो का मैकेनिज्म खराब हो गया. तो चेंज कर दो, ये तो वारंटी में नहीं. ये तो वारंटी में नहीं आता, ये तो कंज्यूमेबल पार्ट.
How much did you pay for your Jimny?
1475 for the
2 months
base.
later, how much was it?
11 lakh rupees. So that's what I am saying. I bought a new car, which was second-hand value in 2 months.
So now you know why Rahul is actually advising you to buy second hand. A little bit of context. Over his 20-year almost career in the automotive industry, I think Rahul has owned close to 70 used vehicles, two-wheelers and four-wheelers included. It is incredible how much he knows about the subject. So take it away. Hello and welcome to Connecting Rod. My name is Dipayan. This week we are going to talk about buying a new car or a used car. Now this is something that we are perennially trying to decide which one is more important, which one has more advantages, one is more prudent from a pocket perspective. And of course, with the current economic climate, cars brand new out of the showroom are getting ridiculously expensive. So whether it makes sense to buy a second-hand car, what situations you can buy your second-hand car in, and who should be looking at the second-hand car market and what advantages that it has. Let's jump straight into our podcast with the first question is, who should be looking at buying a second-hand car?
Today, I think most importantly, a car is a car.
Okay.
Whether you buy a new car or an old car, a car coming home is a big event.
No, but there's a lot of stigma around
No, I'll get to
buying
that.
used.
So, for the longest period of time, we never bought a new car. We always used to delve into the second-hand market simply because of the fact that we could get something better for our budget. That was the first thing. And the second thing was that the depreciation, right? Today, if you buy a car for X amount of money, if you do actual calculation, then you will see that you will lose a lot less money with a used car. So my dad was out of this thought that, why spend so much money on a car and get something which is, like say for example, in those days, when we bought one of our first, third car, we bought a Zen. And for our budget at that point of time, we could only get a Maruti 800 AC, right? And my dad said that, okay, this car looks cool. This car looks okay. And we did some checks at that point. It was not that easy at that point of time to do a vehicle check. There was no Vahan Seva and all that. So you didn't know the history of the car per se. But the usual way of, taking it to a mechanic and things like that. And we did something very interesting, which I will come to later, which is the background check of the vehicle. To cut a long story short right now, we got a Zen VX, which lasted 12 years with us. We actually sold it off when the car turned 14. And all these years, that car never gave us any trouble. We had bought it for, I think, it's a long time now. I think 2 or 2.5 lakh rupees at that point of time.
How much was the Zen new then?
4.5. Okay. 4 for VX, the top of the line with power windows, rear wash and wipe, body colored bumpers, everything was there on that car. I think 2.5 or 225 is something which we had bought it for. And for 225, you could get the Maruti 800 white AC.
Yeah. So this is something that, I think the gap has gotten bigger now because a new car is much more expensive, and that's something that is opening up the second-hand car market
Correct.
and bringing more players into it. Uh, let's start at the cursory point. Now I've decided that okay, I'm going to save the money. I'm going to make the prudent decision and buy a second-hand car. Do I go to a seller, an aggregator, or do I try and find a car that I know the person who owns it and I'm buying it directly from him? What makes more sense and why between an individual seller and an aggregator?
Okay. So aggregator, see, it's their business. Okay. They are not doing this seva by selling you a car with warranty. So the catch is that you get that warranty, but you pay a price for that warranty.
Okay. There's a third thing that I'll add to this: an aggregator, an individual seller, and a OEM second-hand.
No. So both of them function in the same way. Like today, if you have
True Value.
You have
First
Hyundai. Hyundai also has their own thing. You have First Choice. You have Car and Bike. You have Spinny. You
Car and
have
Bike is First Choice.
Yeah. So now it's whatever. So Spinny is there, and I don't know how many of them have come. OLX is there.
Auto, yeah.
So all of these things are there. But please understand that they are a business model.
Yeah.
They are there to sell the car, make huge amount of profit.
Yeah.
So where are they getting the cars from?
So no, why would I say I want to buy a Swift? Why would I buy a Swift from Spinny and not from True Value? Or is there a difference?
No, there is no difference.
Okay.
I'm sorry. There's no difference about these two. It's competitive
There's no
market.
added reliability
No,
buying from
nothing.
Okay.
It's like okay, I will offer you 6 months of warranty. I will offer you 8 months of warranty.
What about checkpoints before they acquire the vehicle?
Now, what they do, they will never share it with you. They will say, okay, 25-point checklist before we sell you the car.
Yeah.
Right? This is for you to check. And please understand, I'm coming back to the same point. The car which you will see, 90% of the time, it is not the car which they have bought. The car will be refurbished. So, most of them are at least nowadays honest about the kilometers. Unless you go to some random, like roadside buyer seller who will definitely tamper with the Odo.
Interesting question. Can you tamper with the Odo in a digital meter?
Of course you can. It's a 5-minute job. What are you talking about?
So you reset it back to zero?
No, not zero. You
That's
can
your
set.
only
No, of course you can do that. Of course you can do that. You can set it to whatever you want.
I don't think that.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
That is incredibly scary if you can do that.
You can set it to whatever number you want, because please understand that as technology has gone up, tampering technology has also, evolved
They
with
do
it.
move side by side. I mean,
They move side by side. Earlier, they were like those mechanical readouts, which were you had to open up the casing of the speedometer would come out. You would just loosen up the bolts, and you just change it to whatever number. There was a way of checking whether
it was done. The seal, the paint on this. Yeah.
Not just that. If you do it manually, there's a 90% chance that
you'll scratch the
the numbers will not line up.
Oh.
So
okay.
So there will be, like, say if it's done 50,000 kilometers, you will see that the 5 and 0, the couple of numbers, they will not line up like it would do in a normal untampered. Yes. So
that's a very interesting point. Although I don't know how many cars have manual Odos anymore, but that is something worth knowing. So again, you're saying that these aggregators as well as OEM second-hand sellers are more or less honest when it comes to Odos. They do refurbish the car. They do make it look pretty before you get there.
And there's nothing wrong with it, Didi. There's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, you're more like, you feel more trust. In fact,
not
as a layman...
Not just trust. You get a feeling of buying a new car, which is the whole idea. If you look
that is a very, very interesting point. That
if you go to their showrooms are just like OE showrooms.
Like
yes. There'll be a guy in a suit who will come, hello sir, welcome, how do you do? And what would you like to see today? And all those things. You will be given a nice cappuccino.
And in fact, the delivery process.
Yes. The bows on the car and all those things. Yeah. So they're trying to give you an experience which is at par with buying a new vehicle.
Correct.
So I don't have a problem with
You do pay for it though. I mean, you pay.
Of course you pay for it. Yeah. You even pay for that warranty, which you
mean, okay. So that's what now coming back to my original question. You have a warranty, you don't have a warranty. in which case should I take the security of the warranty, and in which case can I risk it?
Again, depends on the price quoted.
Not on the person.
No.
So, like, usually my rule of thumb is, if a layman who's not an auto enthusiast asks me whether he should go for an aggregator or an individual buyer, I say go to the aggregator, because either way you won't know what you're getting. But at least here you have the security of a warranty.
Now, what you have to see is what all does the warranty cover?
Hmm.
In my opinion, what I have seen, your consumable parts like your clutch, your brake, your tires, these are not covered under warranty, whether it is manufacturer new car or used car. So, if you look at it very closely, those warranty policies and all that, you will realize that until and unless you have a catastrophic engine failure, you will not need that warranty.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a layman. I go and see a car.
So
I don't know whether it's on the brake. I don't know what the tick 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 sound is in the engine. So I'm assuming that it's fine,
normal,
and I drive it, and I'm okay with it. I can't tell whether the clutch is worn. I can't tell.
I've had friends who bought cars from these aggregators and they have had a warranty, and the common consensus is कि भाई वापस गए कि गाड़ी में ये हो रहा है तो वो consumable हो जाता है. So at the end of the day, I got no benefit out of it. I got no benefit. मेरा power window, the common problem is electronics, right? Electricals. Power window नहीं चल रहा है. I'm pressing the button, it's not coming. You go and say, sir, ये तो power window का mechanism खराब हो गया. तो चेंज कर दो, ये तो वारंटी में आना चाहिए. नहीं, ये तो वारंटी में नहीं आता, ये तो कंज्यूमेबल पार्ट है. So it's again, and then there have been cases where things have been rectified also. Just saying that most of the time they don't do it, it's wrong, but I can assure you that it's not a no questions asked policy as depicted. It's like that. So whether you should consider that warranty bulletproof or not, I don't know.
Not bulletproof. Does it add value to buying from an individual?
On paper, yes.
On paper, and now I am a person. You tell me whether I should go to aggregator or I should buy an individual car.
See, even if you have like a 50% know-how of a vehicle, I would prefer going and buying an individual car.
Okay.
But if you want the easy way out with all the bells and whistles, the luxury, the comfort of going to an aggregator, and please don't forget that they also help in your RC transfer, which is a big part of this whole story.
Yeah, we'll get to the paperwork.
So overall benefits of buying a car from aggregator is more, but you pay a price for it. If you are fine with paying that price,
yeah, that's exactly my question. I mean, that price is a risk aggregate. It's a risk that the aggregator is now taking,
and that's why you are paying him.
It's an insurance.
Yes, it's.
Most cases you won't need it. Some cases you will. I mean, you have
most of these new cars. If you look at the last, कितना पुराना गाड़ी खरीदोगे? 3-4 साल पुराना गाड़ी खरीदोगे. The general tendency at one point of time was that people would sell off the car the moment the loan amount is over. So 3 साल या 5 साल. Up to 5 years these cars are, मतलब कुछ नहीं होता इन गाड़ियों को.
ऐसे नहीं है.
मतलब very rare cases we've seen a car kick up a trouble. And aggregators also check their cars very well. They will, if they see a rundown car.
That's my question. They won't buy it.
They won't buy it.
Exactly.
Because they know that ये बाद में परेशान करेगा. हाँ, यार बम्पर स्क्रैच है, एक टेल लाइट टूटा हुआ है, सीट फटा है या मिरर टूटा हुआ है. These things, if you drive in like Bada Bazaar in Calcutta, or you go to Karol Bagh in Delhi, or one of these places in Bombay, there's a high possibility that your mirror will break every day. So a lot of people don't repair them. कि ये टूटेगा कल फिर से, उससे अच्छा जरूरत नहीं, रहने दो.
Okay.
So that is not an issue.
So I think the consensus is play to your strengths. If you do have the know-how, then yes, risk it with individual buyer. If you don't, if you'd rather save the headache, save for a little more money, get the aggregator, go to the OEM showroom, go and see what they have to offer. Obviously, get multiple quotes for very similar model cars from multiple aggregators, so you know
they will give you a good deal.
The market prices, and that'll give you bargaining on the car you shortlist after that also. That'll give you more bargaining strength. You'll know what the rest of the people are charging for a very similar car. I think that should wrap that part of it. Now moving on, who should buy a second-hand car? Who are the people who should buy it? Where?
See, first and foremost, there was a time when used cars were bought by people who were low on budget. Let's be very honest about it. Okay, कि मेरे पास इतने ही पैसे हैं भाई, इतने पैसे में तो इतना ही मिलेगा. But nowadays, because of the sheer variety
and the prudence, I mean, it's incredibly prudence. How much? So when you buy a second-hand car, the fun is that essentially you are only thinking of the ex-showroom price. Okay, and the reduction is happening based on the ex-showroom price. But what you actually paid for is 5 years of insurance, 5 years of 15 years of road tax, plus whatever other
registration
cesses.
charge, road tax, even your goddamn fast tag, everything is paid for in that car, right? Plus, don't forget that the person who owned that car could have loaded that car with a plethora of upgrades
and accessories.
Accessories. Like most of these guys will take it to some, accessory shop and spruce up the audio system. So when you buy the car, your normal audio system, which was like a squeak, is now a boom in the car because it's been upgraded.
But tell me something. Aggregators, I have a feeling they revert to stock and then
No.
You get it as is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They don't tamper with cars.
Okay.
The only level of tampering is by bumper repaint कर दो, दिखने में अच्छा होना चाहिए गाड़ी. And they do 90% of the time a very good color match. So it is, unless you know some tricks to find out.
We'll get there.
We'll tell you how to find out certain things, whether this car is a repaint or how to find that out. I will give you some secrets on how you can match various aspects of the car to find out whether the car which you've been shown is a 50,000 car, or it's a 75,000 kilometer car, or it's a 175,000 kilometer car. We'll do that.
Yeah, this is sorted. This is part of this episode. First, tell me now who.
Right. So coming back to the point, everybody now. Okay. So I was just, we were talking about.
I want to buy an E-Class.
Why not?
Am I a candidate to buy a second-hand car?
Of course. Didi, the number of these high-end cars coming into the used car market is incredible.
In fact, I know some people who exclusively buy second-hand.
I'll tell you why.
Ultra-premium cars.
Listen, I'll tell you why.
Because there's a huge...
All these big guns, okay, they have to be in sync with trends. You will not see a big shot buy a big sedan and live with it for 15 years. When the generation change happens, the new car comes and the old car goes. Now, where does that old car go? Into the used car market. Now, how many kilometers has it done? I am telling you, most of these cars don't even do 50,000 kilometers in 5 years. 50,000 kilometers for any of these engines is not even running. And because these are head-honcho cars owned by generally high-end clientele, they make sure that their cars are well kept. There are no fooling around with electronics, digitals, nothing.
So you agree with me when I say that it is perhaps most profitable to buy a high-end car second-hand, right?
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely I agree with that. Because the amount of money you will get it for. And don't forget that there's another aspect to this. If you go a little older, like I have had friends talk to me about it, because of the 10-year-old diesel rule in Delhi, all these 8-year-old cars are going across the country.
We'll get there.
Peanuts.
We'll get there again. Rahul, slow down.
There are a lot of things to talk about.
Rahul gets very, very excited when we talk about second-hand cars. So
I get excited anything automotive. Even mopeds. We'll come to that later.
So, going back. Okay, so high-end car, if you are in the market for an E-Class, I mean, this could be a chance to upgrade. You instead of an E, you could get an S for the same money, for a very, very good deal for a car that's less than 5 years old, which means it's at par. So what happens is trickle-down technology. So technology that came on the S 5 years ago is now on the E. So essentially, a 5-year-old S is still slightly better than a present day E.
Yes.
And that's my point.
Yes.
You get all of those benefits.
But I would like to put
Okay, now-
a warning.
Yes. Sometimes they break.
No.
Okay.
When you have budgeted for a E-class,
Maintenance.
the maintenance of a S is a completely different ball game. God forbid you hit the car. I'm not even getting there. Your general maintenance,
a brand new E and a 5-year-old S.
a brand new E will come with 3 free services. That is 3 years
You're
covered.
talking about crashing the car.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about general service.
Okay.
Now with the new 5-year warranty, whatever, and your service packages and all that, they make a lot of sense. Don't forget that you will buy that car. The next year the car will go into full paid service.
No, you can extend your warranty.
How? No, you cannot.
Yeah,
You cannot.
Yeah.
If you are the first owner of the vehicle, you can.
Okay.
When it goes into sale and the ownership has transferred, you cannot do that.
Okay, so this
A lot of
may be
manufacturers
actually a
don't.
very good point to talk about, because I mean you could ask your seller before you buy the car, before you transfer the name,
Yes.
to get the
But
extended
it
warranty
also-
and add
It
that.
also depends manufacturer to manufacturer. Okay, like TVS, as a fact, I know, if your vehicle is in warranty, today you buy the RR 310, okay? You buy the bike, in 1 year you're bored with it, I buy it. Bike is still under warranty. It's void the moment it goes into my name. Because
Wait, this is the standard warranty.
standard warranty.
Why would they do that?
A lot of manufacturers do that.
So read the fine print. I
Yes.
mean, this,
So if you're buying an S-Class or something like that, a Rolls Royce, a Bentley, anything, they all are into the used car markets. They are like dealerships who do a lot of high-end,
exclusively high.
exclusively high-end. You have to make sure that
I
their
think,
service cost is taken care of.
Yeah, and I think, yes, a lot of these high-end exotic car dealers will offer you a price that you may not get elsewhere in the market. But when it comes to these high-end cars, maybe just stick to the OEMs, because their checkpoints are much more stringent. You're more likely to get a clean car. And the reason that the car has probably ended up at one of these other places is because of some history that you can't see or can't tell. So it's probably better to be safe to go to the OEM directly and their own second-hand
Divisions.
yeah. Now, at the other end of the spectrum, first car buyers. Should they just buy a base model, whatever? Or can they...
Prefer second-hand.
Why?
Especially if you are a learner.
Why?
Because of the simple fact that you are learning, right? Expect minor crashes, scratches.
And it's not just,
et
you're
cetera.
not just learning how to drive, you're learning how to own a car. Meaning
Correct.
you're learning what goes wrong, what
Right.
time I need to change the oil filter, the air filter, what an air filter is. So that whole experience is, I think, much more holistic.
Definitely.
In a second-hand car.
Definitely.
And plus you'll get a cooler car. So there's that.
Cooler car, definitely. That is always there, because for the price, even if you have something like 5 to 7 lakh rupees in your pocket, you can get something as good as the Creta.
Yeah.
The older Cretas, you will get them. You can use it to learn the car or learn driving or take it anywhere. It's phenomenal value for money. Now consider that today a base Creta will cost you 15 lakh rupees. Base Creta, I'm talking about the bare basic, which doesn't even get an audio system. There, if you buy a 1 generation old, I'm not talking about the midlife facelift, I'm talking about the older Cretas, you will get them for 7-8 lakh rupees. The car would have done 1 lakh kilometers, but these engines are now bomb proof. Very rarely you will see a new generation of engine blowing up or you requiring, हाँ क्या लगेगा, clutch plate लगेगा, but clutch plate is a consumable again.
Okay.
So these are small things which you might require, and that again it's might.
Okay.
So it makes damn good sense to buy used.
What are the cons of it? As a new buyer, what is the cons of buying a
See, I
second-hand
have
car?
always had a problem initially. Okay, trust factor on the car. Like a brand new car, I will, like today you tell me right now, I'll get into my car, drive to Calcutta, no problem. But in a used car, I will do it, but there will be some amount of, like, अगर बंद पड़ गया तो, अगर इसमें अब I don't know, टायर में ट्यूबलेस टायर है कि उसमें ट्यूब डाल रखा है. So I don't know it's like a relation. I don't know. I have not gathered that trust on that vehicle. That vehicle has, I don't know, gone where all, handled how. I have adopted it. I am trying to understand what that vehicle is.
Okay, that's one of the cons. What
That's-
other con?
The other con is, very simply speaking, the life of the vehicle. Again, it goes back to from where have you bought it? What the condition of the car is. And again, I come back to the same point that refurbished cars is something which I don't like. I would prefer going to someone who would tell me the real story of the car. I mean, today there might be a car
That's
which...
a very, very rare case though.
Yeah.
So if I'm...
No.
I mean, most of the people I've been speaking to who've been wrestling with this decision of whether to buy a new car in base model or to maybe skip a generation and buy a top model of an older car. Their major question is, like, they mostly end up in aggregators, because there is a certain level of trust that comes with aggregators, with going to a showroom and that whole experience that comes along with it.
Definitely.
They mostly end up there. Then they struggle with the question of the social stigma, the price, what they can afford, the loan. All of this comes together to constitute their decision. So from that perspective, what are the cons?
देखो, there are more positives than cons. Okay? Because going back to the initial topic of the experience, these aggregators will give you an experience of buying a new vehicle. Like you said, loans. Now, if I want to take a used car loan from a bank, there is a high chance you will not get it. Because who's going to value that car? You are saying that guy is asking for 10 lakh rupees for that car. I might want 50 lakh rupees for my car, but does that mean the bank will give you 50 lakh rupees? There the aggregator is saying that this car is what it is, this is the build value. And that is why you are getting the bank loan. Of course, the interest rates are much higher, but in today's day and age, not many people look
The
at...
interest rates for a used car is higher than for a new car?
Way higher.
What are the numbers? I don't know.
I think last I had checked, correct me if I am wrong, the normal cars were 13%, the new cars, this is 18%. It was 18 to 19% for a used car loan.
That is incredible. That is a major con.
Yes. But please understand that you're getting the loan. In a different way, you would not be able to buy that car. अगर आप लोन पे खरीद रहे हो तो आपको इंडिविजुअल लोन नहीं मिलता. Okay, there is a loophole to that also. You can get it done. Get a personal loan. The positive of that is that if you get a personal loan, your interest rates are more or less the same.
12.
You will save up some money. And second is that your car is not mortgaged to the bank. तो अगर कल को कोई गाड़ी में प्रॉब्लम आया, you can immediately sell off the car and repay the loan for whatever money you've got.
Okay, so what happens when your car is mortgaged to the bank, hypothecated?
It's hypothecated. So on your registration certificate, it is mentioned that it is hypothecated to so-and-so bank. So now you cannot sell that car technically.
I have a question. So when it's hypothecated, you've bought a second-hand car. Now, when it was sold to you, the hypothecation was obviously...
deleted. It's called hypothecation deletion.
Okay. Now you've bought it again and it's again been hypothecated.
That's okay.
Now, once the deletion happens, is that considered another owner?
No.
Okay.
It is not ownership change. It is just आपको नया RC दिया जाएगा with a history that was hypothecated to so and so bank.
Full paid.
But right now hypothecation deleted. So it will say hypothecation deleted. Again, it depends RTO to RTO. कैसा mention रहता है, but it's a brand new registration certificate which you will get. It's not something if somebody is just giving you a stamp and giving you something in handwriting, don't take it. It's not. It's not that way.
Okay.
It has to be a fresh RC.
Okay.
But your ownership number does not change.
Okay. So now, having covered both the ends of the spectrum, let's stick to the middle where the maximum concentration of sales is right now. We are talking, say, 8 to 20 lakhs. That's, I think, where we are now concentrated in terms of
Yes.
sales. Now, this market is very interesting because now you have overlaps.
Yes.
Okay. You can afford both. Okay. Let's now weigh in and say which is more prudent.
Given my option,
You're going to say second hand again, aren't you?
no, actually no.
Sorry, the connecting rod does not support buying new cars, apparently.
Says someone to the person who's just bought 2 brand new cars in a matter of 5
So we
years.
don't practice what we preach either.
But all my other cars were used.
That is true.
Yeah. So
why did you go from history sheeting, buying used cars, to buying new cars?
would you get a Jimny second hand when it was launched?
I'm sure you would. In fact, we did see several
that was
options.
much later.
Several
that was after
options.
the company scammed me and took more money from me. So
How much did you pay for your Jimny?
1475 for the
2 months
base.
later, how much was it?
11 lakh rupees. So that's what I'm saying. I bought a new car, which was second hand value in 2 months.
So now you know why Rahul is actually advising you to buy second hand cars.
It's much more sensible. I mean, today if you're going to buy a Jimny, I mean, you will get top of the line alpha models with all bells and whistles, with additional tire upgrades, everything for 10 lakh rupees.
So what you're saying is basically don't be me.
Exactly. I totally agree with you.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, both my cars have been... so one was a necessity, or rather, let me put it in a fancy way. One was a need, the other was a want. So the need I fulfilled by the bare basic I could do. Bare basic. Like, वेन्यू लेना है खत्म. अब उसमें बेस वेरिएंट भी चलेगा. स्टीरियो भी नहीं था मेरे गाड़ी में.
So what is give the viewers and listeners your key takeaway? What is your takeaway since you are in this space, in this 8 to 20 lakh
So
rupees
if you want
space,
something bomb proof, which you know, which you can trust from day one, and you don't need to visit anybody, you will get a loan very easily. You will have the trust on that car from day one, go new.
Okay.
And if you are willing to do the right opposite thing, you are willing to experiment, you are willing to say, okay, should be fine.
You're putting it on them.
No.
You tell me at what level they should.
Again, I'm just telling it depends on the person, like you said. Like today, someone like me, I don't mind buying a used car.
So you're saying a large chunk of the populace should buy
why not?
New car.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. For those who will keep that car for a very, very long time.
Now say I am one of those people who now is watching this podcast, and I was in the market for a used car, but now listening to this, I say, okay, I should go for a
New car.
Or vice versa.
Get ready to compromise.
I was in the market for a new car, and now I'm going for a used car.
Get ready for an upgrade.
Okay. Now, yes. Okay. What should I be looking for now? Now, yes, you say know-how is what is going to make the difference and is going to make the difference in how much you pay out.
Yes.
Give me the know-how.
Okay. Let's start with...
First sights.
Okay, this is giving out my secrets, actually.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Achha. Step 1.
Okay, a little bit of context. Over his 20-year almost career in the automotive industry, I think Rahul has owned close to 70 used vehicles, two-wheelers and four-wheelers included. It is incredible how much he knows about the subject. So, take it away.
Okay. First is visual. Okay. A 5-year-old car claiming to have done 50,000-60,000 kilometers and looking as shiny as a showroom condition vehicle flags up.
Hmm.
The basic thing is paint degrade.
Hmm.
In a country like ours, paint degradation is going to happen.
Hmm.
Like you look at my venue,
Hmm.
I have never bumped it. It's never gone through a crash.
Hmm.
But if you look at that car will not look factory fresh
Hmm.
because it's an honest car.
Hmm.
Age is going to show.
But you can go, you want to sell your venue, you take it to 3M, you get them to
Right. Now,
start
3M
it.
is a different thing.
Hmm.
Repainting is a different.
Hmm.
You go to do detailing. I am on for detailing.
Hmm.
But a car which has been repainted,
Hmm.
in my books, is a no-no.
Hmm.
Because no matter how good the painting process is, they will never be able to match up.
So point one is check the paint.
Check the paint.
How do you check the paint?
Superb. The common problem which I have seen.
I know what you're going to say.
What are you going to say?
First lift the hood.
No.
The paint, the fuel filler cap.
No.
Then
Go check out the badges at the back.
Hmm.
If your badges are wrong,
Hmm.
or if your badges are not original, that means that damn car has been repainted.
Okay, so if you're absolutely fresh to the subject, badging is your lettering of the brand name, the car name, which you should find on the rear fender, on the side fenders. They usually indicate there's something that comes straight out of the factory and come as soon as the car has been painted. So you're not likely to find splashes of paint on that chrome or however the badge has been.
Overspray.
Yeah.
Let's call it overspray.
Yeah.
Overspray can also be found on a couple of other places because they try to mask
Where is
up.
the hardest place though? I mean,
As in?
so where is the hardest place to hide a repaint? You'd say badges is the hardest?
So
Don't-
badges is a giveaway.
Hmm.
Badges is a giveaway.
Okay, so now I found my badges a little bit off. What is my second point of contact?
The door hinges.
Hmm.
Because
Under the rubber. So what do you do exactly? How do you check?
no, not under the rubber, over the rubber. So
Okay.
most of the people, what they do is they put masking tape on the rubber. And the masking tape is not laid out in the right way. So you will see overspray.
Hmm.
ठीक है? फिर wiper spindles.
What is that?
Right. Now when they repaint the bonnet, they take off the wiper
Hmm. They leave the spindles on
and they
the-
cover the windscreen.
Hmm.
But they don't cover those little spindles. Remove the wiper, you will get to see if it's a repaint. You will see overspray there.
Hmm.
100%.
Hmm.
अगर ठीक से और कोई नहीं करता वो जगह. People will do the door handles,
Hmm.
do the headlight, do the windscreen. They will never do that. इतना डिटेलिंग इंडिया में नहीं है. बहुत रेयर. बहुत रेयर.
Okay. What else?
Door hinges, your door locks,
Hmm.
the one which goes into the door.
Yeah.
That is such a sleek part of the vehicle exposed that most of the time they don't mask it. That is another place.
So I've walked into the second-hand showroom and I have now immediately started.
Sorry.
I have immediately started dismantling their car, taking off the wipers. Will they not oppose?
नहीं वाइपर तो निकाल नहीं रहे.
I'm taking it off to look at the
No,
screen.
you don't need to
Okay,
take it
so
off.
how do I
There's
look
a
at it?
little cover on top of it.
You just pull the
You
plastic.
just plug it up.
Can you explain to the viewers a little in detail how they would go about this? Like, okay, let's refine it into a 3-point check for paint. Start.
Okay. So first and foremost, don't go charging to the salesman saying कि अरे तुम्हारा गाड़ी तो repaint है. He is not going to agree. He will always tell you तो सर बम्पर तो repaint होगा ही.
Hmm.
Which is true.
Hmm.
So they will see whatever.
Hmm.
Now how do you know whether the car has been repainted?
Hmm.
One is the oversprays. Badge positioning is 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Oversprays, badge positioning and oversprays, let's put them in the same thing.
No.
Okay.
No. Badge positioning मतलब क्या है? अगर badge हटाया है तो ये accidental गाड़ी हो सकता है. If somebody crashed you from the back and when you are repainting, applying primer, putty, whatever, you need to remove them. You cannot just say like this part of the vehicle will not be painted. Point number 3 is overall paint. Now, a car painted outside the factory or a repaint will never match.
Is that something a layman can tell?
Yes.
I doubt it.
Yes, you can
Okay, tell me how.
tell. Okay. So, step back from the car. park the car in daylight.
Hmm.
Please note that all these checks have to be during the daylight. And just आगे पीछे हो. Just go a little like this and then come forward a little. You will see a difference in the paint line. अगर सामने का दरवाजा रिपेंट है आपको वो दिखेगा.
नहीं पूरा गाड़ी रिपेंट हुआ है.
पूरा गाड़ी रिपेंट पे तो भाई it is possible but it will take some time.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because
so is there a definite trick that
Yes.
I can use to tell whether the car has been entirely repainted?
Yes.
Which is
a magnet.
What do you do?
You just go stick the magnet on the body of the car. Okay. A factory paint will never have putty.
Yeah. So the
So
magnet
your
will
magnet will stick everywhere.
Okay.
If your car
This
has
is
copious,
the meat I wanted. No.
if you have copious amounts of putty on your vehicle, there will be sections where that magnet will not stick.
Okay. Paint ho gaya. Tires.
So tires and the odometer have a very strong. Actually, tires, steering, pedals, and odometer.
But I know your trick to all of this is tires, so I came straight there. Now you tell me tires.
No, it's all managed together. So 25,000 kilometer car, as predicted, as depicted by the salesman, will not have run-off tires. Your steering wheel back will not be smooth. Your pedals will not be worn out.
Which part of the pedals?
Any part of them.
So those little rubber grips
yes,
and the
yes,
center will
yes,
have
yes.
wear. Yeah.
Yes, it will not have wear for a 25,000 kilometer car. Right?
Yeah. When does this wear start happening? Post 50?
You will get to see after about minimum 30 to 40,000 kilometers. Minimum, I'm saying.
Okay.
You will get to see that. Rubber
How
fade
many
हो रहा है.
second-hand car dealers do you think are watching this and like, okay, change the pedals?
I mean, you are asking me questions. I'm answering them.
Okay. So that's your consumable bits. How do you check the brakes?
देख ब्रेक्स को लेकर मुझे बिल्कुल भी फिक्र नहीं है.
Okay. Why?
Because it's a consumable part.
नहीं. अभी आप बोल रहे हो कि so ठीक है, brake pads are consumable.
Yes.
But your master cylinder, your
No, it's okay. No. These are consumables. Even tires for that matter. I am just saying कि भाई you can understand whether this car is a 25,000 kilometer car or not.
Okay.
Because if it has ball tires, it has done definitely 50,000 kilometers.
Okay. Now I know nothing about cars. Okay. But I want to, like, I've walked into one of these second-hand showrooms and I want to convey to the person who's selling me the car that I know my shit. But without giving away being over enthusiastic and without giving away the fact that I don't know anything. So I open the hood and now what am I looking at?
So if you generally go to aggregator, they
How
will
do I
have-
look smart at a second-hand car dealership basically?
Oh, go check the oil.
Okay.
Just take the dipstick out, put it in your hand, just do this. ये चिपचिपाहट नहीं है, पुराना oil लग रहा है.
No, you have to be more detailed. You
Okay, I
can't,
have
you
to
can't
be
do
on
this.
Okay, so basically what happens is that the car.
I've opened the hood.
हाँ.
Now what do I do?
So look into the hood very carefully. I mean, like
Rahul,
pay
you're not
attention.
helping me, yaar.
एक minute, pay attention, right? Pay attention. Look at the 3-4 very important components in the hood, right? Like suspension mounts. In most cars, you will have the shocker
वो
mounts
क्या होता
there.
है?
जहाँ पर शॉकर लगता है भाई दोनों साइड पे टावर्स होते हैं वो
कैसे
दिखेगा.
दिखते हैं?
They are like round donut kind things with a bolt in the middle.
उसमें क्या देखना है?
उसमें अरे भाई तुम स्मार्ट देखना चाहते हो ना,
हाँ.
तो देखो उस पे रबर मॉड्यूल्स देखो. There are rubber gaiters there. Just see whether they are cracking or not. If they are cracking, that means ये पुराना है. Then you can say कि तो rubber gaiter cracking हो रहा है. Check the hoses. Again, if you see cracks in the hoses, you will get to see. Or they are hard. Press them. If they are hard, that means they are getting old. Right? Look at the radiator. अंदर से देखो कहीं रस्टिंग है, कुछ है. Right? And most importantly,
Wait, I'll get to rust also.
जो सबसे इजी है, फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन बनाना है, ऑयल चेक करो. सेल्समैन को भी पता नहीं होगा,
तो
गारंटी.
कैसे ऑयल चेक करते हैं?
हाँ, so just pull out the dipstick. There's something called a dipstick.
What does it look like?
It's like a long, like a sword kind of thing, very patla. Because on the left hand side of the most engines,
It's got a ring at the end of it, so you know it's like a little stick that goes into the engine. Lift it out. Do not look at it the first time you lift it out. Clean it.
Clean it.
Then dip it back in and then look at it. So ideally, you want it to be a light translucent red. As that moves more towards a darker brown or black, it's used more. It's less likely to have been
That
changed.
means the car has not been serviced properly.
Yeah.
It's not been well taken care of. So these are again telltale signs of how the car has been kept. अगर dealership पे ही ये हाल है, that means they have just spruced up the car on the top.
And where am I looking for oil?
So oil, you have to see most of the times the car will just roll up, right, when it's there. Definitely check for oil leaks in the sump area, the gasket.
So you have to get under the car for that.
Under the car, definitely.
Okay.
Achha, let's make it a little easier.
So
the head portion of it.
The gasket, yes, is the head. Usually it'll have the branding on the top. And then around it, you'll see if that is the top of your engine. And it has a little rubber gasket underneath it. Usually with time, that gasket wears out and oil starts to spill out from there. Now that has its own implications. It has a whole lot of things, but it should be a red flag for you if you see oil around the head gasket.
Yes, oil around the head gasket. Then you check out the brake master cylinder, the wheel cylinders.
Yeah.
So turn the wheel to the farthest corner.
Yes.
And check the wheel ke piche wala section.
Okay.
You know, the master cylinders are there.
So
wheel cylinders, sorry.
So now both steering fluid and brake fluid are corrosive in nature. Most of their lines are metal. So over time, they do tend to get eaten away by the liquid that they're using. And that will give you a very, very good understanding of how much this car has been used.
Correct.
Because the more it's used, the more they're likely to wear, the thinner they're likely to go. It may not indicate abuse, but say you're seeing
it is use more than abuse.
Yeah. But also, if you're looking at a car with 20,000 kilometers on the clock, with wear on the brake lines or on the steering lines, this should raise major red flags for you.
Absolutely. Clutch housing.
How do you feel? Okay, now I've checked under the hood. Oil is great. Fluids are great. What fluids am I checking for?
Just देखो fluids तो top up होता है mainly, right? There even all modern cars don't require a flush. I mean for 30-40,000 kilometers यार कुछ नहीं होता इनको.
ठीक है.
So that's okay. वो top up करके रखेंगे. That's okay. That's as long as they are all under at the limit. Okay. It's properly tanked up. It should be fine.
Okay. So now the salesman thinks I'm smart. He's a little wary of me. I move over. I've already done the paint checks. Now I move over and I sit in the driver's seat. I turn it over.
The first thing which he will try to convince you with is the kind of features the car has.
I say forget that. Don't pay attention.
Matlab,
you already know through the door.
It's a diversion.
Yeah.
He wants you to get away from the actual things to check and get pulled towards
that's what I've watched.
High-end audio system which is there in the vehicle.
I'm a connecting rod viewer, listener. I've got the know-how. You now tell me, now I've moved to the driver's seat. I've turned it over for the first time. What am I looking for?
देखो turned over से पहले you general inspection complete करो. Turned over तो आप तब करोगे जब आप test drive करोगे. Test drive तो आप करोगे ही उस गाड़ी का.
हाँ. Right? So, okay, now from the driver's seat, what is your general inspection?
First thing which you have to see is the color match inside.
Where inside?
Okay. So, dashboard, door pads, parcel tray. Okay. If the color of the dash and the door pads don't match, it says one thing, that the car has been parked outside in the sun. There is inconsistent fade on the plastics. That's not a red flag, but that's something to be concerned about. Because a car with shiny paint outside is showing faded dashboard. Problem.
I mean, इसका तो polish मिल जाता है राहुल.
Polish से हर टाइम नहीं जाता है. वो एक बार पूरा fade होता है तो होता है. And then please understand, you are not looking at the outside of the car when you are driving. These are the components which you are using when you are in the car. So they have to be as good as the exterior of the vehicle is what I'm trying to say.
The carpets have to match the drapes.
Carpets again is removable, right? They are like, what rubbish yaar. I mean, वो तो चलता ही रहता है.
Okay.
But
No, I was doing nonsense.
I know, that's okay. But your carpets and drapes can be multicolored. I know the notifications continue, but notifications is a very different
We're not
context
discussing this.
for
Anyway.
Dipayan and Dutta. But yeah, let's go
Anyway,
ahead.
let's
Yes.
move on.
Seats.
Seats. What about the seats?
Seat covers, having seat covers is good. But when the seat cover hides the phata hua seat inside is a problem. So do check them out. It's a diversion. So नया seat
So
cover लगा.
you keep coming back to cosmetics a lot. In my book,
I have not gotten to the mechanicals as yet.
I don't really consider cosmetics unless they are indicative of something else that has happened.
Of course.
So I mean, cosmetics are okay for me. I mean, it's not a major
I mean,
pain
will
point.
you buy a car which is looking something else on the outside and something else in the inside?
Yes, that is a very good point. But
Wait, it has to be
like
when
I
you're
don't
paying
care
for
if
it.
the seats are really.
No, I care if my seats are torn in the car. If I get duped by saying that these are brand new seat covers and what they're hiding is crap inside, and that also showcases how badly the car has been used.
Correct.
It's a sign.
Okay.
Right? It's a sign which the car is giving you. कि भाई मेरे साथ क्या हुआ है तुमको idea भी नहीं. Right?
Correct.
So these are all signs. These are not just cosmetics. You can put a seat cover them up. But what is that thing telling you? If you have burnt seat covers, right? That means the car was a smoker's car.
But yeah, that is the smell that you're never going to get rid of.
Are you fine with living with that smell? But say my car, if I smoke in the car, I make sure to eliminate the odor immediately. There has been so many people who have sat in my car.
But you just knocked a lakh off the value of your car.
It's okay, I'm not selling it any which way. So nobody knows. I mean, people still feel that I never smoke in my car, but I do. So there's a way of keeping the car.
So your point is it should appear to be have loved.
Not just taken care of. You don't need to love your car. You just need to take care of it. If your oil is burnt out, that means you have ignored service. Now, can't you just change the engine oil? Of course you can. But what does it say about the previous owner? That he cared a damn about his car. That's something which you need to be concerned about.
Okay. So now I've checked the cosmetic bits.
Wiring.
Where?
Under the hood. You have to check
Again, you've
the...
gone back to the hood.
Unfortunately, yes, we'll do a bit of back and forth here because it's an important part of it. Now, a booming audio system is a very good thing to have in the car for me. But there's a lot of wiring involved in that, right? Has that wiring been done properly? If
This
there's
is a very, very underrated but very, very important
Absolutely.
point because most cars are wired right to the brain, which means that
one slice in the canvas and you're dead.
Yeah. It could mean catastrophic engine failure, which wasn't a case maybe a decade or so ago, but it is
never
now.
meant.
So if your car is got some aftermarket electronics, start looking at it with a magnifying glass.
Yes.
You will find
Especially those stupid lights.
But there are people who do it well. There are people who do it badly. You will be able to tell just by the wiring harnesses. Wiring harnesses.
Black tape. The worst thing you can have on planet Earth. Black tape is the solution for most problems. No. There are fuses, there are joints, there are connectors which have to be properly installed. Even installing something as simple as an amp.
Yeah. But again, you're telling an average buyer to rip apart the interiors of the car to find the wiring. What are the points?
No, so that's what I'm saying. When you go back to the hood, if your car has a proper wiring harness for your audio system, there'll be a red wire which will come out and connect straight to the battery. And there'll be a fuse box there. Now, you will not know what that line is for until and unless you check the interior of the car and find out that this car has a really high-end audio system, which is amp, which is subwoofer, which is one, massive speaker somewhere. All those things are connected to the amp. and the amp is connected to the battery
Hmm.
via a fuse line.
So check the.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you see a high-end audio system, as you said, be very careful. Be very careful of the wiring which has been done out of
So
it.
ask questions.
Ask questions. Yes. कहाँ से लगवाया था? क्या हुआ था?
And the less direct an answer you get probably means that something shady has happened.
No, not just shady. They don't know about it. They've also bought the car thinking कि भाई इसमें तो high-end system है ज़्यादा बिकेगा.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful about it.
Okay.
I would rather, again, that is why I'm saying that new car, old car thing, you buy something where you know what has happened to that car. That car has come from the factory straight to you. This is not the case here. I don't know how many 100 people have driven this car, how many people have put their brains into this, and then this car has come to this dealership where they've tried to put it back to zero and give it to you.
Okay. Have we covered most of the visual checks?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Lights.
Okay.
So check lights in the sense that if you have one new, one old,
How would you know one new, one old?
just stand back. The fade will not be the same. Whether it's the headlight or it's the tail light, doesn't matter. Step back. See clear difference. एक नया लगा हुआ है, एक पुराना लगा हुआ है. अब ये भी हो सकता है कि भाई थोड़ा सा लग गया होगा तो शीशा टूट गया है तो उसने नया लगवा दिया है. But it can also mean that the car has gone through a shunt. So you have to be careful.
I'll get to shunts and body lines and all of that in a bit. I want to talk about
You are
mechanics.
here for a really long haul, it seems. Dipayan has a lot of questions.
Quickly. So let's not waste too much time on everything. Let's try and give people a compendium that they can come back and refer to every time they want to think about buying a new car. Okay, so mechanicals.
Buying a used car.
Used car.
Go for it.
Mechanicals. Now I've sat in the driver's seat and I've turned it over. I've turned the key or pressed the button. What am I looking for? What am I hearing
Step
for?
one,
What am I...
Try to always inspect a car when it's cold. As in, the
Cold
engine...
start.
Cold start. By cold start, what he means is that the engine has not been run up or warmed up before you are trying out the car.
How would you know?
Just touch the engine. Touch, I mean, be careful. If it's like run 50 kilometers, it's going to burn your head. So just like touch the top, you'll know that whether it's a warmed up engine. And also nowadays, few temperature gauges are there which tell you.
So it should start at the bottom.
At the
Cold. Okay.
If you don't have a temperature gauge in your car, these days there comes with a cool light, blue light which comes on. When you start the car, a blue light comes on. That means the engine is cold.
Okay, I've started it cold. Now what?
Let it idle. If it's idling normally,
What is the sound that I'm looking for?
just smoothness
Okay.
is the first thing.
So crank is that.
So the
Okay.
first thing is it should not be a long crank because fuel injected cars don't require a long crank unless there is a problem. So you turn over, it goes kach and start. And it comes down to idle. Right? If it's really cold, it's like proper thanda engine, then the rev will climb up to a little more than normal because that's how the brain of the car is telling the engine to get ready as soon as possible. So they will rev up to about 1100 RPM.
Yeah, so that's when the ECU is delivering a slightly richer mixture to let
Get
the
your car,
oil in
yes.
and get all the components up to temperature before you start driving it.
And it just takes a couple of minutes.
Okay.
A couple of minutes and it'll drop down to 900. That
Do
means
I need to go and look at the exhaust when I'm starting the car?
वो तो बाद में करेंगे. एग्जॉस्ट पे देख के क्या करोगे? बाद में.
नहीं देखेंगे.
नहीं,
अच्छा,
पहले जरूरत है. वो तो आवाज से पहले.
Okay.
When you start up the car, it goes brr, 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 brr. मतलब कुछ तो गड़बड़ है.
That's leaks.
Yes.
But what am I looking for at the back?
Smoke, color,
What color am I looking for?
blue, black.
These are
And
problem
then there's-
colors.
Yes, blue, black is definitely problem
Okay.
colors.
What does
And then there's a transparent one,
what
which
is
is
white?
yes, which is white.
Okay.
Essentially, yes.
So blue is
Fuel.
is usually either a petrol car problem. Black is a diesel car problem.
No, not necessarily.
I mean, unless you've blown a
You're-
gasket or
exactly,
you're
yeah, exactly.
leaking on engine oil
Any-
onto your exhaust, I doubt you're going to get
In
blacks.
In today's
Okay, what does
modern-
white smoke mean?
In today's fuel injected BS6 version, there should not be any smoke unless it's vapor. right? It's cold.
Hmm.
थोड़ा भाप
बट
आता
अभी
है.
मेरे एग्जॉस्ट से पानी निकल रहा है, क्या करूं?
Well, that's great.
क्यों?
It's proper combustion.
What does that mean?
That means that your engine is so well tuned. This used to happen a lot on the older carbureted engines. We used to go out and check whether it might sound very weird to you that an exhaust is spewing out water. But that's how well the combustion is happening. That
the
it's
only
creating
byproduct
is water. You know, this was very common in older carburetor cars where the tuner would tune the carb and he would tell his helper to go take pani aa raha hai ki nahi. So you go to the exhaust and you see whether it's droplets of water coming. That's how well your car is tuned. मॉडर्न डे फ्यूल इंजेक्शन में भी वैसा ही होता है. पानी आ रहा है तो अच्छी बात है. अब मतलब पानी मतलब ऐसा तो नहीं कि तुम टैप खोल दिया.
नहीं, वो I'll get to flat with cars.
So it's like pitter patter. You'll see droplets of water in coming up, which is a good thing.
Smoke shouldn't be there.
No, modern cars no. भाप अलग चीज है. भाप is
even in a diesel.
Yeah. भाप. Yes.
I think 5-year-old diesels do smoke a bit.
नहीं होता.
होता है.
DD नहीं होता unless it's not a well kept car.
होता है.
मतलब you start up unless you're
see I mean if you doesn't have a DPF.
No, what is that sensor called? There's this
lambda sensor.
No, not lambda sensor. There's one भूल जाता हूँ.
O2 sensor.
O2 sensor. O2 sensor गड़बड़ होता है तो उस धुआं मारता है. And that's a very common, used to be a very common problem with the Scorpios. The older Scorpios, not the new generation of Scorpios, not the N or one of those cars, but the older Scorpio had a regular problem.
Okay.
वो 10-15,000 20,000 किलोमीटर के बाद वो धुआं मारता था.
So usually best case scenario you're getting clear smoke out of your car and water droplets. That means your engine is great. Anything else should raise flags. Ask more questions. You will probably find out more. Now we've established that this car is not painted. The under the hood checks have been passed. The paint checks have been passed. Engine startup has been passed. Now I'm going to drive it. Now,
पहले तो ब्रेक्स चेक करो.
कैसे?
अरे भाई ब्रेक दबा के देखो ना, रुकेगा गाड़ी.
अगर दबाया और नहीं रोका
तो जाएगा दीवार में. It's better than going to on the main road and driving at 100 kilometers and braking and not finding out.
Okay.
So again trust factor. भाई कौन सा गाड़ी होता है ऐसे जिसमें ब्रेक नहीं चलता, लेकिन just to
so that's what most cases the brakes won't fail. How will you tell if the brakes how
I'm
worn the brakes are?
I'm getting there. But just for the
पहले आप क्लच नहीं देखोगे?
भाई क्लच वच पहले मैं कुछ नहीं देखता. मैं पहले ब्रेक्स प्रेस करता हूँ. And even in newer cars, DD, you have to understand. Say for example, I have 2 cars which I drive simultaneously. When I move from one car to the other, the brake feel on both cars are totally different. In one which you have to go all the way in, and the other car you just tap on it and it stops.
Just the tip works.
Right? So there you need to know how well the brakes are at the moment. अच्छा है बुरा है बाद में देखेंगे.
What sounds are a red flag?
First thing I would say, most cars these days are front wheel drive. If there's a drive shaft issue. So if you turn the steering wheel.
ब्रेक से ड्राइव शाफ्ट चले गए हो?
अच्छा ब्रेक्स पे ही है अभी भी.
You only said.
Guys, you guys are going to be here for a really long time. So stay tuned. Brakes. Okay. There is a grinding noise which comes when you
make the sound.
Just.
Okay.
Ahmed.
Yeah. But no, it's important because a lot of people, like when you say grinding sound, they don't know what it is.
So it's that kind of a sound. And that is primarily because of 2 reasons. One is dust in the drum or the brake line, the wheel part of it. The other is that brake pads are worn out.
How important is that?
Not very expensive, but not very good thing when you're going to buy a car.
Okay.
भाई ब्रेक तो तुम ठीक करके दोगे एटलीस्ट. तुम यहाँ वारंटी की बात कर रहे हो, जितना दुनिया भर का तामझाम दे रहे हो, तुम्हारा ब्रेक ठीक नहीं है. That's the least you can do.
Okay, brakes.
So brakes is one. Clutch is the second one. Again, a consumable.
How will you... Okay. So is there a way to know that the brakes are working from the lever before we move to the clutch?
Lever as in?
From the pedal.
Yeah, of course.
Which is?
Just when you press the brake, just let the car roll. Okay. And if you see like it's a mushy feeling, you know, it's not like hard kind of feel.
The
The pedal feel. Yeah,
resistance
there is,
isn't progressive.
yes. It's
Okay.
not progressive. मतलब या तो बहुत late ले रहा है वो at a very lower point. That can also be a problem with the master cylinder
Or air in the system.
or air in the system. So that is a matter of a feel.
Okay, so just quickly, because I don't feel like brakes are going to be a decision making
It's
issue.
not.
It could get you a
But says
discount.
it says a lot about the person you are
It
buying
could be a
that car.
bargaining point for you, but I don't think it's a critical issue. I think the next thing is clutch.
Clutch, yes, of course.
Okay, so clutch.
Clutch though is very simple. If you release the clutch and the car is not moving ahead, that means there's a clutch problem. And by moving ahead, I mean that
is
the level of so the play on.
What is play?
So play is when you press the clutch, that is the play. From the point where the clutch pedal is to where it goes is
To where
your
it
play.
bites.
No. Play is total.
No.
So start the entire clutch movement.
That is action.
I call it. No,
That is action. Play is
the play is the neutrality. Right? कि आपने
It's
थोड़ा
the dead zone.
Dead zone where it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Correct? And then you press it. When you release the clutch, the car should start moving in a very progressive manner.
Right from the biting point.
Yes, right from the biting point. And let me tell you that in modern day fuel injected cars will move ahead without accelerator pedals.
Yeah.
If you just release the clutch pedal, aram se, the car will automatically give you that rev and the car will start moving. So clutch, you can very easily know that whether it's working properly. The later the car starts moving is...
So I think I have a little something to add here. Even a small slope is a great place to check your clutch. Get your car onto a small slope.
Ramp chalega.
Yeah, any kind of, that's what, you don't need a massive ramp. Even if it's a small slope like a speed breaker, is a great, come up to the speed breaker, stop the car, and then slowly release the clutch and find if it continues to move to the peak of the speed breaker. That's a great way to know how great your clutch is. Again, clutch is a consumable part, so it shouldn't be a deal breaker for your decision. But again, this is a smart bargaining point to have when you walk into a showroom.
And again, it shows a lot about your so-called high-end
car knowledge.
Car dealer.
Okay. So I think now a connecting rod listener is smart about buying a used car. Now let's quickly, before we wrap up, one last plot twist, so to speak. Now I want to sell my car. What should I do?
Sell it to aggregator.
Not individual.
I would prefer selling it to an aggregator. Why? Because you get proper paperwork. That is, you will lose some money. Definitely, because they are there to make money. You will lose some money. But in today's day and age, the peace of mind which I get from a proper stamped, receipted, everything, that my car has been taken by so-and-so company, whatever responsibilities are there, I will be available for transfer.
But,
that is by far the biggest
how much money
effort.
do I lose by going
You
to
will lose 15, 20, easy.
percent?
No, 1,000. It's like depending on cars.
So
like
give
say
me a
for
percentage.
example, for a Creta, you will lose about up to 60,000-75,000 bucks. Easy. Easy. If your car is in good condition. Because उसको भी पैसा बनाने का है.
And you're saying 70,000 bucks is what your peace of mind costs?
Well, yeah. The peace of mind is simple. That कल को अगर मेरा गाड़ी में बम लगा के उड़ा दिया, पुलिस वाला मेरे पास आएगा तो मैं उसको ये पकड़ाएगा. या किसी एक्सीडेंट में इन्वॉल्व हो गया.
What about exchanges?
हाँ, that's again, exchanges में आपको वैल्यू कम ही मिलने वाला है.
But you get some bonuses, some things to make you feel better.
के बात वैसे ही तो make you feel better ही है. जाएगा पैसा वैसे भी. थोड़ा 5 मिनट के लिए अच्छा लगता है, बोनस मिलता है, सेम कार, whatever, that is all BS. You take your time out, you sell your car.
So you go to 5-6 aggregators, you
get the best
price, you barter them against each other, and you pick the best one.
Yes. Or hold your ground, put it on an individual. They will pay you more. Like I have had very good experiences and very bad experiences. Like I have had when I sold my Jazz, when again it was turning 15 years old or something like that. A couple came, and they were taking the car to Assam. and newly married couple, they really liked the car, and they understood that, okay, why I'm selling. I told them that it's turning 13 years old now. I think now is the right time to sell it, or else I will not get any money. And they pursued me कि आप अभी चलो RTO, sign कर दो गाड़ी मेरे लिए. So you get people like this. And then when I sold the Nano, I had a Nano also. When I sold the Nano, I had to chase that car, chase that guy, and finally I said, boss, I am putting a FIR. This car, this has been 6 months. This car is running all across Delhi, has challans on my name, because I am getting notifications. So I am putting an FIR that this is the date I am sold the car. अब आगे आप जानो, आपका गाड़ी जाना है. And that's when he said,
I think that's a very good point in protecting yourself in case you found yourself in this situation.
Yeah.
Just put an FIR, get the car.
Yes.
Let somebody know that you sold the car, even if you can't find the person you sold the car to.
No, this guy was very much accessible.
No, I'm
ऐसा नहीं था कि वो भाग गया था, but वो गाड़ी ट्रांसफर नहीं करा रहा था. अब मैंने उसको कितने बार पूछा, यार तुमने गाड़ी खरीदा है, it's a matter of $1,000 or something like that. There's no घपला in paperwork. I am standing, I am the registered
बचपन
owner.
में मैं भी नहीं करा था.
अच्छा तू तो छोड़ ही दे, तो कोई सा भी गाड़ी तूने अपने नाम पे रजिस्टर, पता नहीं कौन जेल गया है तेरे लिए. So छोड़ ही दे उस बात को. But you know, the general people we are talking about, like you and me, would like to have the car registered on your name and off my name when I sell it. See, this is what. Don't sell it to individuals like Dipayan and Dutta. He will never transfer. I will tell you something very quickly before we sign off. If your car is a hypothetical car, which is bank loan पे खरीदा हुआ था first owner ने, if that guy is giving you a clearance letter, check the date of the clearance letter, because clearance letters are valid for 3 months. After which a new application has to be put. तो अगर जनवरी का है और आप अगस्त में ले रहे हो, वो एक्सपायर हो चुका है. और अगर आपके आरसी पे वो हाइपोथिकेशन नहीं गया है, that letter from the bank is as good as toilet paper. So if he is willing to go to the bank again and get you another one, that's fine. Or else walk away.
Okay.
Because it's not going to get transferred to you.
Okay.
So that's a couple of things which you need to take care of as far as papers are concerned.
And how important is a service history and how important is
in
your
India?
insurance
No.
history?
It's not.
नहीं मिलने वाला है.
बहुत rare. मतलब 1 in a million. You will get
especially if the listing says Parsi owned at the start.
तो वो तो अलग बात है. Parsi owned है तो you expect. You expect कि भैया वो धुलवाया था मैंने उस दिन गाड़ी, और पर्ची वो रामदयाल ने दिया था पर्ची, कि मैंने गाड़ी धो के दिया था उसने, तो वो रहेगा. That is a different story. But in general I'm talking about like people like you and me, like even I for that matter, I keep the first 3 services ka receipt, because it goes straight into
I've seen the folder that you keep.
No, the folder is for all the vehicles. So it's quite a fat folder. But it's basically the first 3 services which I keep. It's simply that I got the car serviced at the right time. This is the lifeline of the vehicle, even modern day vehicles. The first, second and the third service. I always keep the bills to it. उस पे kilometers mentioned होते हैं कि इतने किलोमीटर पे ये हुआ था.
Okay. Are there any apps that I can use to...
Yes, why not? There is something called Vahan. Basically tells you about the challans of the vehicle. Can tell you about the current pollution under control certificate status, insurance status. All of those can be checked. My suggestion, चालान चेक कर लेना, क्योंकि अगर आपने पैसे दे दिए और गाड़ी आपके पास आ गया तो वो चालान के पैसे ओरिजिनल ओनर जिंदगी में नहीं भरेगा, और वो तभी ट्रांसफर होगा जब आपके पास वो चालान का पेमेंट होगा. So just be careful about it. Vahan app is superb for all this, and also the registered owner. Whom are you buying the car off from? मेरे चाचा का है, मेरे ताऊ का है, मेरे दोस्त का है, तो तू क्यों बेच रहा है भाई? Where is this gentleman or lady who the car belongs to? It can so happen that you are selling off your dad's car. So उस पे you will require the signature of your dad.
Or it can so happen that I'm selling a car that I bought second hand and I just didn't transfer the name. So that
gentleman
Not that
becomes your
done that.
dost. Yeah, never. So you have to be careful because a lot of RTOs call the owner in person.
Okay.
Noida RTO does.
Okay.
I had to go and sign off my car.
Exactly.
So you have to go there. Buyer seller both have to come, stand in front of the RTO and sign it. अगर वो गायब हो गया,
तो
आपको
फिर
आधार कार्ड पकड़ा के अभी ढूंढो आप आधार कार्ड कहाँ पर रहता है वो.
हम्म,
So you have to be careful about paperwork also. Unless there are people like you around.
anything else?
Don't worry about second hand and social stigma. There's nothing like that. I would definitely urge you to go out and check out these cars and start them as new.
हम्म,
हाँ वो ओडोमीटर पे रहेगा 25,000 30,000 बट ठीक है यार. गाड़ी अगर अच्छा मिल गया आपको. I have been very lucky with my cars.
हम्म,
And I have really enjoyed my second hand cars. Am I not enjoying my new cars? Very much. But did I not enjoy my second hand cars? Each and every one of them I loved to bits and they never gave me any trouble.
great. It's a fact. I mean, I've also only bought second-hand cars.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that's it from us. If you have any other questions, we are absolutely happy to help out. Drop a comment. We'll definitely get back to you in the next episode or sometime. Give you more details. We have a lot of information on second-hand cars, but I think this is all we could fit in this one
We
episode.
don't buy and sell cars as of now.
As of now, says Rahul. Okay. I think that's it from us. We can sign off on that bombshell. Yeah?
See you next time on Connecting Rod.